Hi, in this video we're covering Christie's 2017 Mini Cooper Clubman F54 JCW, all four. In this we've done a few phases that occurred earlier in the week. Weather just broke in the sense of not raining, so we're getting out here trying to do a quick video. So what I've done recently is the emblems on the front and back of Mini. In this case the front one is silver with Mini in it. This has been painted flat black. This is to give it that look and that outline. The idea is to try to eliminate as much black as possible. The other part of it we've done is the entire belt line around below the windshield. This was all silver aluminum band basically that went around, so it's a chrome finish. So what we've done is we blacked that out. Both of these have been done in flat black, and we'll get to the product that I used when we review it. Now there's different emblems, there's different products you can use for the blackout of the belt line. There's like the blackout tape that's in flat, semi, glossy black. I've seen them in red and yellow. You can get those. I haven't had too much luck with those. I've done a couple that way. Within a couple of years I've noticed that they shrunk up and I've had to redo them, and that you would start seeing the chrome underneath it. And then within about 7-8 years I've seen where they've like peeled apart, flaked. So I wasn't a big fan for that product. The other product you could use is plastic dip. Plastic dip for this location is a sort of a problem, because plastic dip ends up being sort of a rubbery substance when it gets really hot. It's like a rubber plastic, and I noticed that when you have like spring season, stuff will tend to stick to it. It acts like almost adhesive, and if you try to rub it off, the problem is you might actually rub the whole section off where you're trying to just wipe off the stuff that's stuck to it. Then you have to redo it. So I'm not a big fan of plastic dip for this area. Other areas that are rarely used or sort of shielded are kind of better, and we'll cover that in just a moment. But some of the other things, since we're at the front, we're going to walk around the car. The other things we've done is we've replaced the hood scoop with the carbon fiber one to kind of blend in with that blackout look, give it a little more accent. This is call it the grill ring. It's usually chrome. We just had a cover that goes over that. It's self-sticking tape, it's really easy. Then there's the headlight rings. In the F54, the headlight rings are different than the F56. I bought some of the JCW ones that they had for the F56. They fit, but they didn't fit right, so I sent them back, and I had to order some covers that fit over the chrome. I used double-sided tape. So this makes these reversible, which is a nice thing. So it creates the blackout look. As we're walking around this way, we also replaced the black rear covers with the carbon fiber ones. These are the Mini JCW ones. Quite expensive, but they had a nice look and they'll hold up. You can follow the belt line. It actually goes all the way down. You'll see where it's that flat black. It sort of blends into the car instead of standing out. We also put a Laminex protective covering over this, and it's just a slight tint. It's a real light tint to sort of darken this out and make it so the light comes out really well. One of the other things is we took the all four chrome badge with the gray inside the number 4. We actually replaced them with the all 4 that was already in black and has the red in there. It makes this pop with the highlights of the color, the chili red ring around the coupe works here, and a chili red wrap top that we have. We've also done the covers on the door handles. They're just a cover that goes over. On this she has the comfort access, so it had the holes set up for these. The belt line you can see follows through is still flat black. This is the other cover. As we kind of work our way around, we're coming to the back. Now most of these cover things I'm talking about were all chrome, and we've changed it. If you look at some earlier videos, you can see where we've done piece by piece, phase by phase. Around here on these headlights, they have a chrome ring in there, and these are covers that go over. We replaced the JCW with a decal. They're the same size, just in black, give it more of a stealth look. The handles on the left and right side of the barn doors were also chrome. We've covered that. And the Clubman. The Clubman this is done in plastic dip. It doesn't see a whole lot of dirt and that sort of thing, so it's easier to work with, especially all the lettering and stuff. But it's nice. It can be redone. It can be taken off if you like. We also went with a stealth cover for the license plate. So we went with a small ring around here. North Carolina says you have to have the state visible. Some states are at the top, some are at the bottom. North Carolina, if they can't read that state from the bottom or top, they can give you a ticket and citation. So what we did is made sure that was visible. We're using a very unique thing that we sort of make, myself and Christy. These are what we call the stealth covers. If you go side to side, it turns black, and you can't see it. But if you come right behind it, it's just like a light tint on it. So it's theirs. If you're interested in these, just send a private message to Christy and we can talk about it. The other thing, there was a mini emblem here, a smaller set of silver wings with mini in this. We took this off because this one is a JCW all 4. We wanted to highlight that. So we replaced that badge with this all 4. We think it adds a little more. There is a cover that we put on here, also on this side. So the blackouts are this beltline ring, the handles, the clubman, the rings on either side of the head caps, tail light caps. And the other thing that we haven't done yet, but we'll be doing, is the chrome that's on the tailpipes. We haven't got those parts in yet, but we'll make a video of that. This is just an update of what we've done and how we've done it. So the belt line follows through same way with the handles here, the all 4 down here, the side scuttle marker, the mirror caps and such. But so the products that we use are a paint that you can pretty much get at Walmart or Lowe's. So I tend to like this because it's real easy to use. It's a Rust-Oleum Professional high performance enamel, 15 minutes dry. The big thing is when you use this, you have to shake it a lot. Small coats, layering it. You can look online. YouTube has a huge amount of videos of how to do this. But what I found is you do light coats of this, you use it. Every time you use it, after you spray, I took a steel brush to clean this nozzle, because if you don't cleanse the nozzle, what happens each time is it will, the second, third time, will start splattering, putting chunks on, and you won't get that smooth look you're looking for. It'll end up having texture. For the rear, you will use plastic dip, just a black. It's a common plastic dip you can get at Walmart or at Lowe's. Very simple. Also use the steel brush after you spray it. You can find hundreds of videos on this, on how to do it, and we can do that. So just want to review this. Christy, do you have anything to add?
People will probably ask if we actually took the belt line off, and we did not. We actually masked it off and sprayed all of it while it was on the car, with exception to the oval type ring that went around the actual hood part. But other than that, this was sprayed while it was on the car, masked off with newspapers and things of that nature.
Yeah, so there's different techniques. I've done it different ways. I've taken all the chrome off. The problem is when you take this belt line off, I've noticed if it's an older car and it's been on for a while, when I had to pull around the doors, I actually bent them, so they were kind of arced like this, exaggerated. And I ended up having to replace them. So it's easier to take your time. It took about 2.5 hours to mask off the whole car. Everything was masked off except for that little band all the way around. And then right before you paint it, you make sure you clean it very well. I used an all-purpose cleaner, then I used alcohol, and then I used water and soap, and then I used a dry towel right before I painted it, went over it, and then painted each section. So you'll need to get that down, but you need to put light coats, let it dry, light coat, let it dry, light coat, let it dry. It'll take a while. You need a warm afternoon where it's not too windy and such to do that, if you do it that technique. Different ways to do it. I found that worked the best, because sometimes you can break the clips that hold on these pieces. Some have clips, some are just band on, but at the ends I noticed they tend to be lock in. Those are the things that you could break if you don't get it off correctly. But you can do it either way. Experience says that it was easier to mask it off. We just went to local grocery store. They have all those free newspaper type things. Just grabbed a chunk full of those and a couple rolls of painter's tape, masked it off, and it went well. But I think you'll like the look. If you like the sort of blackout look, because the Clubman F54 is a difficult pieces. Like these pieces don't come in the belt line like, let's say, the R60 Countryman has a darker shade. Taillights, they have a darker shade. They don't have these for the F54, the Clubmans. So you've got to use your little imagination. You have to use a little creativity. It saves you a little money. It's just your time that you have to do it. But I think it comes out with an overall product. And there are not many of them out there that have done, I don't believe, that I've seen to this extent of doing a blackout. We still have a few more things to do. But I think overall it's a very neat and appealing style for us. Should you have any questions or anything, contact Christy at the private message. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to Motoring Motivations. It's a YouTube channel that Christy has. And give a thumbs up if you would, if you like this. This way, every time we put out a video, you'll get a notification saying, hey, this is, and please view it, take a look at it, see if you like it. This concludes this video.